Okay, so up until this point in this unit, we have been talking about one variable data. So we've been looking at data where it's like, okay, well, how many minutes did students spend on their homework? Or, what were the scores on the most recent quiz or something like that. That's only one variable. In real life, it's a lot more interesting to look at data that has two variables at least. So, for example, instead of just talking about the number of Spanish students, the number of French students, the number of German students, it's a little bit more interesting to go, okay, well, let's break down Spanish students into boys and girls. Let's break down the French students into boys and girls. Let's break down the German students into boys and girls. We can get a little bit more information about our population that way. So that's what we're going to do. So first we need to have some vocabulary. So looking at this table here, I'm going to highlight some different sections here, and we're going to break this table up into two pieces. I don't have a lot of room to write over here, so I'm going to write up in the corner. We're going to look at joint frequencies, and we're also going to look at marginal frequencies. Okay, and so for the purpose of this, I will highlight the joint frequencies in yellow, and I'll highlight the marginal frequencies in blue. Okay, so looking at the table, the joint frequencies are the ones in the middle of the table. So that would be like all these guys right through here. Okay, these are all our joint frequencies. And the reason why we call them joint frequencies is because they're dealing with two things. So like this box represents Spanish students that are boys. This box represents French students that are girls. So there's two things going on in these boxes, and that's why they're called joint frequencies. Our marginal frequencies are the ones in the margins. So that's going to be this guy right here. These are our marginal frequencies, okay? And so what these are is these are the totals of the rows in these two cases, or the columns in these cases. They're only dealing with one type of variable, so that's why they're not joint frequencies. In other words, this number is only representing boys. This number here is only representing German students. So these are sort of like only dealing with a single variable. That's why they're not joint frequencies. Instead, they're marginal frequencies, and you can kind of think of that as being in the margin. They're basically your totals. And then we have our overall total. So our overall total is this right here. That's going to be the total of the entire all of the data. Whoops, let me redo that. All of the data is right here. That's our total. Okay, that's the total. All right. So there is some more vocabulary that I want to show you here, but I don't want you to stress out too much about this vocabulary because you don't actually see it in problems. But what we have is we have joint relative frequencies, we have marginal relative frequencies, and we have conditional relative frequencies. So these are all ratios. So a joint relative frequency is going to be the joint frequency. I'm going to abbreviate joint frequency over the overall total. That's going to give you a joint frequency. So that would be like what is the joint relative frequency of the total students that are also boys taking German? So that you would do your joint frequency 8 over your overall total, which is 50. Again, I don't want you to get too worried about this because the questions are actually asked in a much easier way. Your marginal relative frequency is going to be your marginal frequency. Again, over your overall total. So that would be something like, what is the percentage of Spanish students? What is the percentage of all students that are Spanish students or something like that. So you'd have your marginal frequency, 25, over your overall total, which is 50. And lastly, we have a conditional relative frequency. A conditional relative frequency is when you have the joint frequency over the marginal frequency. Now, you're going to be asked to calculate all these, but it's not going to be asked with all these crazy words. So I don't want you to get too bent out of shape about the words. So conditional relative frequency would be like, of the Spanish students, what was the frequency of girls? So you would have like 15 over 25 because we're only talking about Spanish students at that point. Okay? Okay, so let's actually answer some questions. So the first thing that we need to do here is we need to finish filling out this table. You'll notice that there are some gaps. Sometimes in the table they will give you the totals and then they might leave some gaps for you to fill in. Other times they'll give you this entire middle part of the table where it's all highlighted in yellow, but they'll leave off the totals. In that case, you're going to have to calculate all those totals so that you know what they are. Otherwise, you can't answer the questions. So let's fill in this table. I know that there are 20 boys in total. This is just one way to do this. Basically, what you need to do is you need to fill in the boxes so that the rows add up to the total and the columns add up to the total. So if you look at this, there are 20 boys in total. 8 are German, 2 are French. That's 10. So it must mean that 10 are Spanish-speaking students. And that works for the column as well. 10 boys plus 15 girls equals 25 total Spanish students. So this one has to be 10. If I go to this next one down here, I can do, okay, well, that's just the sum of 2 and 12. So that's 14. And then the last one is what 8 plus what equals 11. Turns out that's 3. Now, if you were to want to check this, you could add across, make sure that that checks, add down, add down, add down, make sure that checks. And the overall check would be to add your final column and your final row. Make sure that those all check out. Okay. So of the students interviewed, what percentage were girls? Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to pay attention to how the question is asked. We're looking for two pieces of information. We're looking for our denominator, which is typically after the word of. So of the students interviewed means that we are going to have total students, because it's students interviewed, total students in our denominator. And then I want you to notice that it says what percentage were girls. So let's highlight that as well. I'm going to highlight that in this weird kind of gray color. What percentage were girls? So that's going to go into our numerator. So girls. Okay, and now let's just fill in our numbers here. So total girls is right here. That's 30 over total students is 50. And then if you put that in your calculator and divide it, you get 0.6. And since it's asking for a percentage, in order to change into a percentage, I'm not going to write this every time, but to change into a percentage, you would multiply by 100 to change into a percentage. And so that's going to be 60%. 60%. So of the total students interviewed, 60% were female, were girls. Okay, how about what percentage of boys chose to take, what percentage of boys chose to take Spanish? Okay, so here we go. Let's find our numerator. Of boys, whoops, that's the wrong tool. Of boys. So that means that total boys, sorry guys. Total boys is in my denominator, and then chose to take Spanish. So that means that Spanish is in my numerator. What percentage of boys chose to take Spanish? Okay, so how many boys do we have in our group? Here's our total boys right here, 20. So there are 20 boys. Of those 20, how many took Spanish? 10. And now we do our calculation. 10 out of 20 is 0.5, and then we're going to change that into a percentage, 50%. All right, let's try one more. Slide this up here. Of the students who chose German, what percentage were girls? Okay, so let's figure out our denominator and our numerator. Denominator. Of the students who chose German. So our denominator is German. And our numerator is were girls. So our numerator is girls. Okay, so let's go back up and let's find our numbers here. So we're looking for our denominator is German students. All the German students are right here, 11 of them. So our denominator is 11. And then of those German students, which ones were girls? So I start with German students. How many were girls? 3 of them. A quick check for these is that your numerator should never be bigger than your denominator. When you're doing these, your numerator should never be bigger than your denominator because the biggest total you could have is 1, which would be 100%. So if your numerator is bigger than your denominator, that's a sign that something went wrong. So this is 0.27 repeating. 0.27 repeating. If I multiply that by 100, I'm going to get 27.27%. And this doesn't tell me what to round to, so I'll just leave it right there. So the key is, okay, let me just wrap this up and then we'll be done with this one. The key is, fill in your table if necessary. Sometimes you're filling in the middle because you're given the totals. And sometimes you're only given the middle, so you're going to have to create your total row and your total column. So first step is to complete the table. The second step is to, for each question, figure out what the fraction is. Now, not every question asks you for a percentage, but if you are asked for a percentage, you have to create a fraction. Determine the denominator of that fraction by looking for the word of. That's usually the key. And so whatever comes after the word of, chances are that's your denominator. And then the rest of the question is going to give you your numerator. Then you go to the table, you get your numbers to fill in, you do your calculation, and to change into a percentage, you multiply by 100. That's really the whole thing here, folks. So let's practice this in class. I think the more you practice with this, the more you're going to find that it's actually pretty simple. That's it.